Today I'm going to see if AI can fix my broken FiveM server. First things first, of course, going to need to set up a FiveM server. So I'm going to set one up right now, and then I'm going to go in, I'm going to break a bunch of things, going to add some wrong lines, and I'm going to make it so the scripts don't work. Then we're going to give it to AI, and we're going to see if it can fix it. If it doesn't, then I think we're pretty screwed. Okay, so I've just set up a basic cubicle server, but I think we need to add some mods on top of it. So I'm going to use the HTNetwork auto installer to install maybe 120 plus mods automatically or so, and then I'm going to go through and I'm going to break them. And I think this will be the ultimate test for AI, because a basic cubicle server is probably a bit too easy, you know? Okay, so I've just finished installing over 120 plus mods automatically using the HTNetwork application. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through all of these mods. I'm going to do some basic and maybe some more complicated breaking to these scripts. And then I'm going to give it to AI. I'm not sure if we're just going to tell it what the error is, or we're going to give it like a zip file with the mod in it and see if it fixes it. This is actually going to be quite interesting because it could be a bit of a game changer for troubleshooting your FiveM server. Okay, so I've gone through it and I've broke a bunch of things just by editing the script or like making changes so it just breaks itself by maybe removing commas and things like that. And what I did was I broke the vehicle shop config by literally just deleting a couple of lines, so that's going to stop the vehicle shop from working. I also then removed this map mods folder from the server.cfg from the ensure line, so this map mods folder will not work anymore. And you guys see right here, I've disabled MySQL on XAMPP. So when we start the server, this is quite simple. I'm guessing it's definitely going to get this one, but when we start the server, it's not going to connect to our cubicle database and it's going to throw a bunch of errors. And then I also went into this load screen script and I went into the HTML, index.html, and I removed a part of the link for the YouTube loading screen background that it has. So now the loading screen will not work properly. That background image will break. And then finally, I added a line into the server.cfg. You guys will see it right here if we take a look, called exec permissions.cfg. This is usually something you put at the top of your server.cfg if you have vmenu. Obviously, we're on a cubicle server, so we don't have vmenu. So when we try to save this file, or we start our FiveM server, it's going to give an error saying it cannot find the file permissions.cfg, because obviously we don't have one. And also when we try to save it into xadmin, it will give a proper warning saying it cannot find it, and also it's just saved, but to remove it, it's going to cause issues. So if we hop into ChatGPT, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to start the server and get it to fix our MySQL error and see what it does. If you guys have been wondering what that application was that I was using to install 120 plus mods automatically into my FiveM server that we then use to break, that is by using my website HTNetwork.one, which is down in the description below, and it is the sponsor of this video. You guys can get fully made FiveM server packages. If we go to the FiveM server packages page right here, and you can auto install a fully modded FiveM server in literally a couple of clicks by using the HTNetwork auto installer application you guys saw just now. Each one of these packages are fully tailored to different people's needs. We've got vmenu packages, and we've also got the cubicle package, which you guys saw right there, which is a full economy based RP server. And every single one of those mods are installed automatically using that HTNetwork application that you guys just saw. And also we do offer server hosting, which is also what I was using in that video. I was using a HTNetwork Windows VPS that you guys can pick from right here. So be sure to check out my website HTNetwork.one down in the description below if you guys are looking to set up your next FiveM server or you need FiveM server hosting. Okay, so you guys can see it's already throwing some errors here and things like that because we haven't connected our database. If we look right here, we scroll on down a little bit. There you go, unable to establish connection and a bunch of these red errors because of it. Ecom refused, etc. That is our MySQL not being started, which is causing that. So let's give ChatGPT a screenshot of this and let's see what it tells us we need to do. Okay, here we go. Let's give ChatGPT a picture of this and let's say my FiveM server won't start properly due to this error in my server console. Help me. Let's see what it says. Let's press enter and hopefully it should get this one bang on because most people, even with basic knowledge, would understand this. Okay, so we asked it, and funnily enough, it actually did get it right. The first step is actually the correct thing. It tells us to verify that MySQL is running on the MySQL and MariaDB database. So we're going to go and do that. So we'll go to the VPS, and we'll look on XAMPP, and strangely enough, what a surprise, MySQL isn't running. So if we start it, and we restart the server, we should see that that error has disappeared, but you guys will see there's another error that goes right at the... Okay, here we go. So if we start the server up again, the warnings have disappeared, of course, because MySQL is now started, but you guys will see it right at the top here, warning regarding your configuration files that it cannot find the line 1 because the file doesn't exist. And if we go to txadmin, it makes it look a bit more serious. If we try to save it, it'll say, warning you should pay attention to, and it says file does not exist, pretty much the same thing. But it does make people think, usually with this error, that their whole server.cfg is broken, but it isn't. It's just this line at the top here. But what we're going to do, we're going to take a picture of this right here, and well, I guess I'll take a picture of this whole screen. We'll give it to ChatGPT, and we're going to see how it deals with this. I'm assuming it's going to tell us to remove line 1, so it should be quite easy to do so, and then we'll move on to the more complicated ones with the actual errors in the script. Okay, so we gave it, and it didn't really give me the answer that I was thinking initially, but if we look down, it does. For some reason, it thinks that our connection string, which is, if we look here, this line right here is wrong. It literally isn't. It works perfectly fine. It says to do a bunch of this, and obviously we don't need to do that, but if we... So we'll skip this step. We've done that step. If we scroll on down, it does actually say here, the warning suggests that the possible permissions.cfg referenced in the error is not there or isn't in the same directory, and it isn't being able to read it. But it does say here, if permissions.cfg is not required for your setup, you can comment at the line by adding the hashtag at the beginning. So we'll try that. This isn't the way I would have done it. I would have just simply deleted the line because it isn't needed at all, but we'll do what it says. We'll comment out the line, and that should work. And if we save the file this time, there you guys go, file saved, it fixed it. Fair play, ChatGPT. You're doing well so far, but now we're going to do a bit more complicated stuff. Okay, so let's do that thing with the vehicle shop that I did. I broke the lines by deleting some commas and etc in the lines, making the config.lua not work. So I just restarted the QB vehicle shop script here, so the error would pop up. You guys go, it's saying an error. It can't read the config.lua due to some lines being wrong, etc. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screenshot these lines with the errors in the server console. I'm going to give it to ChatGPT and I'm going to see what it says. Okay, this is crazy. This is a lot more specific than I thought it would be. So I gave it the error, and it knew, obviously based on the error, because it does literally say that there is an error on line 78. And it also got it right by saying that I removed quotations and things like that and made a syntax mistake. But then it also went on to Google, and it went on to the QB Core GitHub page for the QB vehicle shop, and it grabbed the exact line that I did wrong. This is the exact line that I edited to make it break. So somehow it has pulled it from there, and this is telling me what it's going to look like. So we're going to do what it says here. We're going to go to the QB vehicle shop folder, go in the config.lua, and I'm going to screenshot the line that it's telling me to look at. I'm going to see if ChatGPT can point out the exact mistake that I made. So here we go. Let's navigate to the file. Let's go to txdata, QB Core Framework Resources, go into the QB folder, and we'll look for the QB vehicle shop. Here it is. And we'll do what it said. We'll go into the config.lua. We need to go to line 78, like it said, which is this line right here. And here's a mistake I did. So basically, I deleted a couple of lines. I deleted this quotation line, and I also deleted a comma at the end to make it read the next line. But there you go. I'm going to screenshot this. I'm going to give that line to ChatGPT and see if it can point out what I did wrong. Okay, so I did include in the screenshot the other line above, and it didn't really need that, but it's actually got it right. It's got the error. So what I'm going to do is I guess I'll just copy this like it tells me to, and then I will just paste it into the table and see if it works. So come back to the script here, line 7, and we'll just paste this in. And there you guys go. You can already see it's fixed it. So it's now going to work. That's actually quite impressive. It means that it can probably fix, granted, not the most complicated errors, okay, but it can probably fix these mistakes. And if you guys don't know what you're doing, you can actually learn through ChatGPT how to troubleshoot your FiveM server, which is great in actually learning how to develop your own server instead of just adding mods and getting a dev to do it. Okay, there you guys go. It's no longer giving that error. It actually managed to fix it. This is unbelievably impressive. So we're going to do one more thing. This one's the slightly easier one with the map mods not loading in. So if we go to resources here, none of the map mods will load in if I delete the search. There you go. None of the map mods are started, whatever. It should get this straight away, I'm assuming. Then we got one more thing, which is where I deleted the lines in the loading screen. Okay, here we go. Screenshot given. None of my map mods in the map mods folder are started on startup, so please help me. We'll press enter, and I reckon it's going to get this like super easily, but we'll see. Okay, so in the first line, it got it right, but also not in the way I would have done it at all. Instead of ensuring the actual subcategory folder, the map mods folder, it's telling me to ensure every single lines, every single map mod in it automatically. So it's not doing it the way I would have done it. Instead of actually ensuring the whole subcategory folder, for some reason it's telling me to ensure every single map mod one by one. It's way less efficient, and I think ChatGPT needs to work on that, but it will work. I'll do what it says here. We'll just copy these and we'll put them in our server.cfg. So here we go. We'll come over to the CFG editor and we'll just enter a new line, paste it on in, and save the file. We give the server a restart. We should see all these map mods will now start up on startup. Okay, so there we go. Granted, it didn't do it the most efficient way. On startup, it has started every single one of those map mods on up. Okay, so here we go, and the loading screen isn't working. So I'm going to screenshot it here, and we'll just put it in, and we'll say that there's meant to be a loading screen here. Obviously, the only way you'd actually know that this isn't working isn't by the lines in the actual HTML index, because you wouldn't even check there. The only way you would know is in the actual loading screen itself whilst loading in game. So I'm going to give it this screenshot, and I'm guessing it should work out, as long as we tell it was a YouTube video originally, that it needs to fix the link. Okay, so there we go. I gave it the actual error itself, but just said my YouTube loading screen background isn't loading. I give it the screenshot, and let's see what it says. Okay, so this is what it tells us. It tells us to ensure the background image or video is located in the correct folder, usually within the loan screen resource, which is actually true. That is where it is in our service resources folder. And it does say straight away, double check the file path in your index.html that it points to the correct location. Okay, so I navigated to the index.html, and if we scroll on down to here, you guys will see this is where it went wrong. I deleted the HTTPS and then the colon and the // so all it says now is www.youtube.com and then the embed link. Okay, here we go. So I told it it's a YouTube loading screen, and granted this time it sort of got it right. First thing it tells us is to check the YouTube video URL. And obviously it's going to tell us that we're using the correct embed URL. So that's what we're going to do. And hopefully based off this, if we give it a screenshot of that line, obviously if you didn't know what you're doing, you would just look for that line in the index.html. So it'd be pretty obvious what you need to look for. We'll give it a screenshot of it, and we'll see if it realizes that I'm missing that HTTPS colon and // bit. If we scroll on down, it's given a bunch of unnecessary waffle. For some reason, it's done an example index.html. This is pretty pointless, and it would pretty much like confuse the hell out of me if I didn't know what I was doing, but here we go. We'll just give it a screenshot of that line and we'll see what it says. Okay, so I gave it a screenshot and it's sort of not got it right. It thinks that our iframe settings are wrong, which is incorrect. But weirdly, if we scroll on down to the fixed code, which it wants us to copy and paste, it has actually corrected the HTTPS colon issue, but it's also just rearranged it in a really weird way. And I don't actually know if this will work. It might do, in all fairness, but I guess we'll just do what it says here. We'll just copy this line. We'll add it in to the index.html. I'm assuming, based off what it's told me from here, we'll paste it in and replace it. And although this is completely different to how it's meant to be set up, we'll see if it works. Okay, so here we go. It did work in all fairness, but not properly. Where it told us to edit that line and edit it completely differently, telling us the iframe settings are wrong, it's actually now compressed the image so it isn't the full screen size, because it isn't using dynamic resolution. Pretty stupid, dumb mistake, but I guess it's done what we wanted to do on the tin, and it's fixed the YouTube video from not showing. But I'd be pretty upset if a developer did this for me, because they haven't done the full job here. But I guess the answer is you can sort of use AI to fix your broken FiveM server.